I'm not close to being satisfied. Coco Gauff sets her sights on more Grand Slam glory. By Christian Avila. Thursday, October 23, 2025 at 1 o'clock. But for Gauff, success is now about more than just results. It feels like where I am now is where I'm supposed to be. She said in an interview with the WTA before participating in the WTA finals. I feel like this is the life that I wanted for myself and that I work for. I definitely feel like for the first 4 years of my career, I couldn't believe that I was actually on tour and living the dream. Despite her fierce on-court demeanor, Gauff insists her expression doesn't always match her emotions. I'm usually always happy on the court, she explained with a smile. People don't think so because I look so serious, but I am happy inside. She shared that her happiest moments this season came from both her professional triumphs and personal connections. Most recently, probably winning French Open, but also when I play with my brother, I'm pretty happy too. At just 21, Coco Gauff stands at a crossroads of greatness, one that feels both familiar and wildly uncharted. Her Grand Slam triumphs have already cemented her as one of the brightest stars of modern tennis, but when she speaks, there's a spark that tells you she's still hungry, perhaps hungrier than ever. I'm not close to being satisfied, she said recently, her tone a blend of youthful defiance and seasoned ambition. And when Coco Gauff says she's not satisfied, it isn't a sound bite, it's a promise. A champion in motion. When Coco hoisted her first Grand Slam trophy, the world paused to celebrate the teenage prodigy who had fulfilled the promise we all glimpsed when she shocked Venus Williams at Wimbledon years earlier. But behind her radiant smile was the mind of a player already asking, what's next? She didn't see that trophy as the destination, only a checkpoint. That hunger, almost insatiable, is what has defined her career so far. She trains as if she hasn't achieved a thing. To her, success is a moving target, and her drive seems fueled by the idea that perfection is a pursuit, not a prize. In interviews, her honesty stands out. When she says she's not satisfied, she's acknowledging that winning 1 or even 2 Grand Slams doesn't quench her fire. She wants more, not for the fame or the history books, but to see how far her potential can stretch. That mindset, her coach says, is what separates the good from the great. The evolution of a star. Coco's game has matured remarkably in recent seasons. Her backhand, once her most reliable weapon, has now been complemented by a vastly improved forehand, a more composed serve, and a tactical sharpness that only experience can build. Her athleticism remains her trademark, but now it's guided by strategy rather than instinct alone. What's even more impressive is her emotional growth. The teenager who once felt the weight of the spotlight now seems to wear it like armor. Every setback, whether an early exit or a tough final loss, seems to refine her rather than rattle her. I've learned that losing doesn't mean you're off track, she said after a narrow defeat earlier this year. Sometimes it means you're about to level up. And that's precisely what she's doing, leveling up. Beyond the baseline. Coco's ambition doesn't stop at collecting trophies. She talks often about inspiring a new generation, particularly young girls who see in her a reflection of possibility. She understands that her platform carries weight, that every match, every interview, every word could motivate someone to believe in their own dreams. But even in her advocacy and leadership, there's the same restless energy that defines her tennis. She doesn't just want to inspire, she wants to lead by example. Her confidence radiates not from ego but from preparation. You can see it when she steps onto the court, the calm before a storm, the quiet that precedes impact. When asked what keeps her motivated after achieving so much, Coco's answer is disarmingly simple. I feel like I haven't even played my best tennis yet. The road to more glory. That statement might send chills down the spines of her rivals. Because if the version of Gauff that has already lifted a Grand Slam is still an unfinished product, then what's coming next could redefine the women's game entirely. Her coach, Per Reba, often remarks that her best quality isn't her speed, power, or technique, it's her mindset. She always asks what she can do better, he said. She never wants to repeat a performance, she wants to improve it. It's that relentless quest for growth that now fuels her journey toward more major titles. Every practice session is an experiment. Every match, a lesson. She doesn't dwell on past wins, she studies them, dissects them, and then builds upon them. At 21, Gauff already has the poise of a veteran but the enthusiasm of someone just beginning to understand her capabilities. She's aware that tennis greatness isn't measured in one moment but in consistency, in the ability to sustain brilliance over time. The psychology of not satisfied. What does it mean when an athlete says they're not satisfied? For Coco, it's not about dissatisfaction in the negative sense. It's about the refusal to plateau. She sees satisfaction as stagnation, and stagnation as the enemy of greatness. Her hunger mirrors that of legends, Serena Williams, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, all of whom carried the same inner fire long after they had nothing left to prove. Coco seems to have inherited that champion's mindset early, understanding that success is fleeting unless you keep chasing evolution. Even during her off days, she remains grounded, studying film, revisiting her routines, and setting new goals. There's a quiet discipline in her that makes her journey as much psychological as physical. The bigger picture. Coco Gauff's rise is more than a sports story. It's a story about growth, resilience, and the power of relentless belief. When she says she's not close to being satisfied, it's a mantra for anyone striving toward excellence. A reminder that fulfillment doesn't come from reaching the top but from continuing to climb. In many ways, her career mirrors the rhythm of life itself, moments of triumph followed by moments of self-reflection, wins that create new standards, and setbacks that build new strength. She's not afraid of the process. She embraces it. Her fans can sense that something extraordinary is still unfolding, that Coco's next chapters might be even more defining than her first. Whether it's another Grand Slam or a deeper evolution of her game, she's on a path that feels limitless. A future written in drive. As the term moves on and new talents emerge, Coco Gauff's name will remain at the center, not because she chases the spotlight, but because she earns it. Each swing of her racket writes a new verse in her story, one that's still very much in progress. I'm not close to being satisfied. She reminds us, not as a declaration of discontent, but as a declaration of purpose. And that, perhaps, is what makes her so electrifying to watch. She's not just chasing history. She's building it. One match, one moment, one goal at a time. Because for Coco Gauff, the true victory isn't in what she's achieved, it's in what she's still striving for.